Section 18 of Folklore and Legends, Oriental. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recorded by Annie Hill. Folklore and Legends, Oriental, by Charles John Tibbits. Section 18. Legend of Dhurrumnath. During the reign of a mighty Raj named Guda Singh, a celebrated and, as it is now supposed, deified priest, or Hatti, called Dhurrumnath, came, and in all the characteristic humility of his sect established a primitive and temporary resting place within a few miles of the Rajah's residence at Roon, near Mandav. He was accompanied by his adopted son, Dhurrumnath. From this spot Dhurrumnath despatched his son to seek for charitable contributions from the inhabitants of the town. To this end Dhurrumnath made several visits, but being unsuccessful, and at the same time unwilling that his father should know of the want of liberality in the city, he at each visit purchased food out of some limited funds of his own. At length, his little hoard failing, on the 6th day he was obliged to confess the deceit he had practised. Dhurrumnath, on being acquainted with this, became extremely vexed, and vowed from that day all the Rajah's Putteen cities should become desolate and ruined. The tradition goes on to state that in due time these cities were destroyed. Dhurrumnath, accompanied by his son, left the neighbourhood and proceeded to Denodur. Finding it a desirable place, he determined on performing tupsi, or penance, for 12 years, and chose the form of standing on his head. On commencing to carry out this determination, he dismissed his son, who established his dhuni in the jungles about 20 miles to the northwest of Bhuj. After Dhurrumnath had remained tupsi for 12 years, he was visited by all the angels from heaven, who besought him to rise, to which he replied that if he did so, the portion of the country on which his sight would first rest would become barren. If villages, they would disappear. If woods or fields, they would equally be destroyed. The angels then told him to turn his head to the northeast, where flowed the sea. Upon this he resumed his natural position, and turning his head in the direction he was told, opened his eyes, when immediately the sea disappeared. The stately ships became wrecks, and their crews were destroyed, leaving nothing behind but a barren, unbroken desert, known as the Roon. Dhurrumnath, too pure to remain on the earth, partook of an immediate and glorious immortality, being at once absorbed into the spiritual nature of the creating, the finishing, the indivisible, all-pervading Brahm. This self-imposed penance of Dhurrumnath has shed a halo of sanctity around the hill of Denodur, and was doubtless the occasion of its having been selected as a fitting site for a jogi establishment, the members of which, it is probable, were originally the attendants on a small temple that had been erected, and which still remains, on the highest point of the hill, on the spot where the holy Dhurrumnath is said to have performed his painful tupsi. End of section 18.